North Korea has broken a brief period of restraint and calm in the region by firing a missile directly through Japan's airspace. It crashed down in the Pacific about 1,000 kilometers from the Japanese mainland. Russia's foreign minister brought up the latest developments on the Korean peninsula at a meeting today with the Prince of Abu Dhabi. RT's Ilya Petrenko is following the visit.
Moscow is being very careful when it comes to threats against North Korea, and Sergei Lavrov's latest message to Pyongyang during his Gulf trip is the usual and perhaps most evident. We, as international community at the UN, agreed on where Pyongyang mustn't cross the line, so please stick to that.
We insist that our North Korean neighbors fully abide by all the UN Security Council resolutions. This is the position that we stick to at all the UN Security Council meetings, and will do so at the meeting that is now being suggested after the recent missile tests by North Korea.
No surprise, the U.S. president's reaction to North Korea's newest toy launched somewhere towards Japan was much more harsh. Donald Trump blamed Kim Jong-un for signaling his contempt for the neighbors. And here's another quote: "Threatening and destabilizing actions only increased the North Korean regime's isolation." And then came the usual threat. Again, all options are on the table. Speaking of destabilizing the region, the U.S., along with South Korea, went for drills there just last week, and now, after Pyongyang's latest launch, more drills, this time by Japan and South Korea. And in the meantime, here's the message that China sent out to all the parties in this conflict.
China urges all the parties concerned to do no more to provoke each other and escalate the tension. We hope all the parties can remain restrained and work together to maintain the peace and stability of the peninsula.
This essentially echoes some of what Russia's been calling for all along. Less threats from all sides, less things from all sides that could provoke military action. And of course, Pyongyang must abide by those UN resolutions.
Ilya Petrenko reporting there. Well, Asia Affairs expert Andrew Leung told us that the latest military escalation is pushing any peaceful solution further away.
North Korea still wants to talk to the United States and is keeping up the pressure, and is also intent on building its long-distance delivery systems for nuclear weapons as a bargaining chip. But I don't think it's deliberately moving to an all-out war, because an all-out war is not going to do North Korea any good, nor would it do North America any good. For both Russia and China, the situation is quite clear. The whole thing cannot be solved by endless military confrontation. It's going to make matters worse. I think the position on both China and Russia are very clear. But then the whole thing hinges on what the United States is going to do. And all the United States is coming up with is sanctions, so first, and also military confrontation that's making matters worse.